It's no surprise that COVID-19 has had a very negative impact on sports, businesses and educational institutions. In today's episode of Sports Corner, we're here to discuss the negative impacts that COVID-19 has had on sports persons and athletes from the state of Meghalaya. Our first interviewee, Shailja Chetri, began her career as a state and national badminton player in the under-13 category, going on to represent Meghalaya in the Northeast Zonals, All India National Championship and All India Inter-University Championship in Odisha. Shailja's first coach and mentor, Ballerina Siem, saw her through to the state and national level championships. Shailja, could you tell us about the last couple of months? Now, we all know that it's been a very stressful time, very difficult time for sports especially, and there have been no sporting events taking place. How have you been dealing with this?
Okay, so here's the thing. When I talk about, let's say the badminton facilities in Meghalaya, they don't really send us that much, so to say, to participate in tournaments. It's like up to us. So it's not a new thing for me to participate less tournaments in a year. But the last tournament that I participated in was last September, and there's been a long gap since then till now. And after the lockdown happened, by now I would have been on with my practice, but I couldn't because of the lockdown, and since they've shut down all the sporting events and the practice centers. So with this, I wouldn't say that it's only affecting our physical health, but I would also say mentally, because a lot of us sports person, sports has been our life. I've been playing sports since I was 9 or 10 years old, so it's built up my character. So not being able to go there and practice daily, I would say it's been kind of hard on my mental health as well, because you sometimes don't feel like yourself. You're not doing the things that you love. So I think it's been hard on both the physical and as well as the health aspect as well.
You said that the last competition was in September 2019.
It was the Northeast Zonals.
The Northeast Zonals. What was the reason for the long layoff from then till now? Because the lockdown started only a couple of months later.
Yes. So actually what happened is when the state level tournament was going on in July last year, I actually got a hamstring injury during my semi-final event. So because of that, even when I went for the Northeast competition, I couldn't participate in a singles event. I would have to participate in a doubles event because they would have two people and it would be more convenient, more easier for me. So after that, my doctor advised me to, just take a month's leave, or maybe let's say 2 months, because the injury was really bad and I couldn't even move my leg properly. I couldn't walk properly. So after that, coming to this year, the lockdown started. So that's the reason, for this really long gap since last year. And it was really difficult for me to recover as well, because, when the practice is going on, you can go there and the coach is there to help you recover. He's going to give you exercises, he can give you diet. But since, I don't have that right now, I've been doing this on my own. So yes, it's difficult.
So currently you're engaging yourself in a lot of freehand exercises,
yes.
A lot of freehand
actually I'm more interested in yoga, because it helps me keep calm, and yeah, I have to maintain my flexibility.
All right, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Another question I have is regarding the the practice for badminton. Now, once this, we were informed some time ago that there was a possibility of non-contact sports, training centers reopening, so that some of the sports persons or athletes can get the opportunity to train. That hasn't really happened, and now with the rising number of cases, again, this means that for the next few months, it's unlikely that any of the indoor halls or the badminton courts will be open for practice. Now, a very long gap of a year and a half, as a national level sports person, this will surely have a very hold a very negative impact on your performance when things get back to normal?
Yes, it surely would, because nowadays the practice techniques has improved so much that a player, he or she can improve within a month, and right now we're talking about a year loss of practice. So when let's say eventually when we get back to our practice sessions, it'll be really hard for us to, adjust to the practice, and maybe we wouldn't be that prepared if, a tournament happens to come up in the next few months. We wouldn't be mentally prepared for that. So overall, our performance would really go down.
As a professional player, does this mean that practicing even in maybe your backyard or your front yard will help in a way, or do you actually require proper conditions?
I think I wouldn't really say that it doesn't help at all, but it depends on which sports field you're playing in. Suppose I am from the badminton field, so yeah, I can do the workout and all at home, but I don't have a private court. I need to have a court to go and practice my strokes. I can't do that. So it's been so many months, I haven't even held my, racket. So all I can do is, do some footwork, exercises at home, and that's all I can do. And to be honest, that's not really enough for me.
A little bit of advice from your end towards, for the young upcoming badminton players, or even the athletes, other athletes too, on how to maintain their fitness during this lockdown, because it's been very difficult. And see, aside from the fact that most of the gyms or fitness centers are closed, this lockdown has also made everyone a little more laid back when it comes to training, and physical activities. And we've also had some discussions with several sports persons, and they've said the same thing too. It's not so easy to just get the motivation to work out. So what do you have to say in that aspect, and what advice do you have for the youngsters?
See, I would say that, when I was young, I wished I realized that, your performance, it's not really up to the association, right? It's not really up to the association. You can't blame the association. Oh, they're not giving us much facilities. They're not giving us, these professional coaches. You can't really say that, because at the end of the day, it's really up to you. I mean, yes, the association comes into play, but I guess most of, the growth or the performance, it comes from within you. So, yes, during this lockdown, it's really hard for you to really get that motivation to, keep practicing or doing the workouts at home. And to be honest, even for me, it's kind of hard because, there's no coach, there's no one there, an authority to, tell me, you have to do this every day, to push me. So, but I just want to tell you guys that, at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you really want to do something in your field, if you really want to build a career, then you just have to block out all the other things that's telling you, it's no use, just forget about this lockdown and everything. I mean, yes, I don't mean that you go out and then practice or something, but then you have to look after your fitness while you're sitting at home and do as much as you can, to just improve yourself in whatever field that you're playing in.
Nelson Lalu, an 18-year-old basketball player who also plays for local team Touchline Northeast, has represented Meghalaya in the Junior Nationals, Senior Nationals, and most recently at the Khelo India Youth Games 2020. Nelson, who has been playing at a semi-professional level for around 6 years, shared his thoughts and views on the lockdown and its impact during our one-on-one. Tell us how you got involved in the sport of basketball. What drew you into it?
Actually, at first it was because of my dad, because he's a basketball coach. He's a state coach, and so before when he used to play and all, he used to take me along with him, and that's how I became a bit better and I started becoming interested in all these basketball and athletics and all that. So yeah, that's how I got into basketball.
So, Nelson, the last competition, the last competitive tournament was the Nationals. Since then, you have not competed anywhere. So, how has this been for you? What has the experience been like? Because it's a very long break.
No.
And how have you been dealing with it?
Since this lockdown, we don't know what the future holds about this COVID-19 pandemic, and we don't know when will it end. So I'm my practices, training and everything. And since there was no training, no practices and all, I went through the net and the internet about how to for home exercises and all that.
I mean, were you able to follow those exercises, or how has it helped? Has it been able to help you?
Yeah, it has helped me a lot, but then it's not like actual training where you get the proper diet and proper rest and all that, because whole day you're staying at home, that also affects the body. Too much of everything is not good, so as even too much of rest might not be good for the body. So as you can see, all the athletes and everything, they don't have a proper diet these days because of shortage of food items and all that. So that has affected in many ways.
Does your basic workout involve any gym work, or are you like more of a free hand kind of a athlete? Yeah.
I'm more of a freehand athlete because during this pandemic, I don't usually keep all those weights and all in my house. So I do a lot of explosive activities and just to keep myself fit, so that it won't affect me later when I start my usual practice, with proper training and all that.
COVID-19, we don't know when it will stop. It could be this year, it could be next year, 2021 too. Now, the important thing here is that a lot of young sports persons like yourself, who have just starting to begin a very solid career, you're losing out a lot of time, losing almost a year of your life by the time this is over. And again, this creates quite a difficult situation, because if you have been competing in the under 18 category, and if you're almost 18, by the time the lockdown ends, you probably will be 19.
19, yeah.
Or over the age of 18. So this again means that you've lost
1 year.
1 year of your life, not being able to compete.
Yeah.
So how do you think that this again will be dealt with? Because if no competitions happen in 2020, and if it happens in 2021, practice has been lost and also your time. So
I think there's no way to we can't even change the age group. Suppose now I'm just 18 and I want to go for under 19. And then next year I'm going to turn 19. But they won't be able to change it to under 20, because that's going to be a big problem later on. So I think they should keep both under 18 and under 21 maybe. That might be the solution for that.
The solution. So you're saying that after the lockdown, there should be two categories, two different
categories,
each category, so that those who have lost time
those who have lost time, they get to participate.
Right. You have been training. You've been following some of the home workout regimes, but not actually playing, not getting a chance to play on the court, practice on the court with the ball. This obviously will throw you a little bit off balance, right? So in terms of your performance or your form. So what do you have to say in that aspect? Because basketball obviously is a team game, so yeah. So
that that is not much of a problem if you keep yourself fit. But yeah, it's gonna affect regarding basketball, like shooting and dribbling, it might affect on that. But then dribbling, they can still practice at home, still take the ball and just you do a lot of ball feeling and all. Since we don't get to shoot, we don't get to do all those stuff. So I think it won't affect that much.
We don't know when this COVID-19 pandemic will come to an end and when the lockdown will also ease up. So what plans do you have for the future? Are you planning to pursue basketball as a potential career sport?
Yeah, I think I am looking up to it, but we don't know what the future holds. So I can't. I didn't go so far. But my parents are pushing me, and I am doing my work at home and all that. But since I don't know what the future holds, so I can't say much about that.
Another national level boxer, Gracie Marbanyang, who is presently being coached by former boxer Larry Karpran, spoke on how the COVID-19 lockdown has affected sports. Gracie was forced to take a break from boxing after competing at the junior level nationals following an injury. However, now that the 18-year-old boxer has recovered, she has been unable to train following the initial government-imposed lockdown during the CAB protests and now with COVID-19 restrictions.
Since we can't go for practice, so there are some exercises that we do at home, like boxing. Then we always do the first is stretching. So we do those things that are that we can do at home. So we can't get those equipment that we are needed, but there are some exercises that are helpful, like shadow boxing.
They might not be opening the dojos or the indoor halls for practice or training for, especially when it comes to contact or combat sports. Now, again, when one talks about boxing, it's possible for you to maintain your fitness and your strength. But when it comes to the sparring, and that's where, again, it's very important for you, especially with your movement and whatnot. So,
for me, then I have my sister. She's a boxer too. So, we do those things at home. But for the others, then it will be difficult for them to do the sparring and the touching and all. So it's difficult.
Give us a little bit of your background history. Like, how did you get into the sport?
When my grandmother was there, so she was interested in boxing. So she put my sister and me. Then she make us join the boxing club. So the first time that we joined, we didn't take it seriously. We are still a kid, so okay, we're doing this because we are. And then after we practiced and after we selected for a tournament, then we started we have to get this, and then from there, and then since 2014, I've been playing the Meghalaya Games.
You had also competed at the national level, right?
Yeah.
So which competitions were those?
That is national junior, yeah.
National junior.
Junior, yeah.
This was in
2017.
17.
Yeah. So I did a Northeast game, then and state champion. Yeah.
Okay, so you've also won a number of gold medals too.
Yeah, I've been 2017. I got best boxer. Northeast game, I got bronze.
Got bronze in
Yeah.
these games. Are you planning to continue pursuing boxing as a future career option?
Yeah, I've been planning. So I thought of after my degree, I would go for the coaching, boxing coach. So let's see if.
Now, again, coming back to this whole especially the maintenance of fitness during this lockdown. how, like, what are like some of the basic, like you said, shadow boxing is something that you have been practicing and, like running. Are there any other training techniques that need to be followed for other boxers so that, anyone else watching this also would understand?
Okay, like boxing, then if we don't have the equipment that are needed, like the bag is like very important. So we just do this, the pads that then we can do at home, weightlifting, and then some push-ups.
So Gracie, now that the lockdown is still, uncertain, we don't know for how many more months it will be going on, which means that sporting activities also will have to be put on hold for the time being. You as a sports person, as an athlete, as a professional, how do you plan to deal with this situation over the next few months? And do you feel that the government should start opening up the training halls little by little in a controlled environment?
So we all are affected by this. As a sport person, I would say that we are badly affected by this COVID-19. So I would say, like, if we have that determination to work and then to practice to make us to maintain that to maintain our physical, physical, and then mentally, like fitness. So yeah, it is badly affected. But then if you have that, so you can do it at home, and then and I think like government should open a controlled environment for us to continue with our practice and training, so that it won't affect us.
And your performance also.
Yeah.
Because one day you will be representing the state again in the nationals.
So it'll be very difficult for us.
It'll be difficult.
Like for 1 year to stop and then go back again. It will be difficult for us. So
It's
yeah.
going to be difficult. That's very true. One last question I have for you, Gracie. What plans do you have for the future for yourself? Are you planning to continue boxing for as long as you can, or do you have other ambitions?
I think I'll continue boxing, and then if possible, then I'll go for the boxing coach, and then I'm planning to if I have practiced for so many years and I wasted like that, so
It's not going to make sense.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's why I think of joining coach, and I'll see after my degree.
After your degree. So one day, hopefully, you'll be able to coach some young boxers, upcoming boxers. Well, all the best, Gracie, and we really hope once again that the sports gets back to normal and everyone gets an opportunity to compete once again, especially yourself. So all the best for your future. With that, we hope we've been able to sensitize our viewers about the plights that the sports persons in the state have been facing over the course of this COVID-19 lockdown. And we really wish them well. We hope that sports gets back to normal, and hopefully by the end of 2020 or 2021, we will be able to see some of the sporting activities come back to life. So with that, we hope you enjoy this program. Stay safe.